All right. So I'm back here again. Thanks, you guys. Those of you who stuck around here, I think we are okay now. Uh, I can talk about it in a bit. But anyway, let's just get right on into it. We are going to work on some more of this Herb Bouquet embroidery. So let's just get cracking. All right, here we are. So back up and running. All the servers for my hosting thing were just down for like those 2 minutes that I was trying to get ready, and now they seem to be fine again. So I think we are good to go. So let's get at it. I want to do at least some embroidery tonight. Let's do it. So I've already cut, well, I thought I did. It's probably hanging from me somewhere. I'm just going to cut another piece here of this winter morning. There's literally some hidden piece of embroidery floss somewhere that was attached to me. All right. Hey, Deborah. Hey, Catherine. Thanks for popping back in here. And thanks, Becky and Tracy, for sticking around, too. So let's separate our 3 strands here. I want to get at least a little bit going on this tonight. All right, 2. And 3. Hoo-wee! All right. Getting into it again now. Always fun to have all those tech problems, right? All right, so we got our 3 strands here. My needle is chilling here on Marie's needle minder. And I want to get going on this sage here. So we do still have some of the parsley to do yet up there, but we'll come back to that. I want to see what we can get done on this sage. All right, I'm going to snip the ends of this just so I got a nice clean end. Much easier to thread. Uh-oh, I didn't get all the threads there. I'm not using my normal embroidery needle. I'm using the one that happened to be on the needle minder, but this one has a smaller eye, and I don't like it as much. I like the larger eyes. Okay, there we go. All right, good. I see you guys popping back in. That makes me happy. All right, let's weave in the end to just the bottom of our little stem here, our parsley stem. So 3 times will do the trick. 1, 2, 3. Well, luckily tonight I'm going to be doing the sewing method on this. Oh, I already have a little knot. This is just going my way tonight, right? Oh, I must have tied it into a little knot when I went through this, so we're going to just kind of force its hand a little bit. All right, I think we're good still. But luckily, I'm going to be doing the sewing method of embroidery, and that's a little bit faster than the stabbing method, which is what we did last night. So this, I think, will actually go pretty slick. All right, so I'm going to follow this sage stem just so I know which stem to do it. Okay, it's this one right here. So the sewing method is when you go in and out at the same time. And that helps to have like a little looser fabric, I've found. So I'm actually going to loosen it a hair in my hoop here. So I just, I'm still going to kind of pull on it so it's even, but I'm not going to like pull it so it's super taut. There's going to be like a little ebb and flow with this thing. And all right, so for the sewing method, here's the stabbing method again. You go straight down with the needle, find your next spot and come straight up. And that's basically 1 stitch. With the sewing method, you go in and out in the same motion. So we've gone in for the finishing or the start of that stitch, and then we finished it up here. Same motion, and we are just going to keep doing that, and it is awfully quick. I feel like at least for me, what I lose a little bit is my accuracy of where I'm placing the needle. Like when I go straight up and down with the stabbing method and straight up and down coming back up, I feel like I can aim a little bit better. But this is pretty slick and pretty fast, so I think it just takes some practice, and that's what I need, is some practice with it. So that's what we're doing tonight. But I do think this is going to go speedy, way speedier. First of all, I don't have as many curves to like loop around like how I had with the parsley. But this sewing method is going to be our friend tonight. Oh yes, I have an 8-inch, this is an 8-inch embroidery hoop. This is one of those bamboo 8-inch embroidery hoop. My typical embroidery hoops are either the 8-inch or the 4-inch. I do have a 7-inch one that I do like every once in a while, but I don't know. I like using hoops that can contain the whole design, and most of my designs can fit within this 8 inches, so I do like using this. And I don't like being super tightly close to the hoop. Like, I like this little space here, because if you stitch really close to the hoop, sometimes the hoop just gets in the way. All right, so I'm gonna do this little kind of middle stem thing here. Thanks again, everyone, for joining me here tonight. I know it took forever and ever for me to get going, but it seems to be working great now, which I'm happy about. I would have been sad if I wouldn't have been able to make any progress on this tonight. All right. So there we go. That is the sewing method. So I'm going to just stab just for my final last stitch, and then I'm going to decide the next spot. I think we're going to just continue on. We're going to just finish this whole sage leaf here. I probably have just enough floss to do that with. I might need a little bit more to finish it. I'm feeling, though, like I'm going fast tonight, so that's good. Maybe I should have done the sewing method on this. Although I had to be, this required a lot of precision to go around all these little leaves. With this tonight, it's really just kind of very easy arcs and straight lines. Ooh, almost pulled thread off my needle here. And that does well with the easy arcs, and the straight lines do well with this sewing method. But look how fast this is going. The other nice thing about the sewing method is you don't have any really loops on the back, because since you're going in and out again, like that's my thread right there. It doesn't have the opportunity to make crazy knots on the back. So really, this would be a good method to get better at, because I think there are just lots of positives to the sewing method. So I feel like with the sewing method, I always have to go from right to left. So I'm going to keep rotating so that's comfortable in my hand. So I'm going to flip around this way. But the looseness of the fabric allows me to like come up in the same motion really easily, because, you know, look how much I need to push up to get that to happen. If this was super taut, I wouldn't be able to do that down and up motion very easily. Ooh, am I gonna have enough? I'm not sure. Oh, whoops, I caught that bottom stitch. I'm definitely not as even of a stitcher with the sewing method, but again, that's why we're practicing. I don't think I'm going to make it to the end of this sage, but I can just start it right in the right place, and it ends right where I should start some other sage plants, so it's going to be a good position to stop wherever this ends. I might actually make it. Okay, I think maybe 2 more stitches. Alright, in this last stitch, I'm going to just do the stab method just because I want to be precise. I want to come up like behind this other, like this, the stitch is going this way. I don't want to accidentally like split that stitch. Ugh, we totally made it. Okay, I'm going to end the floss right here just because it seems like a good place. But man, we already got that whole sage leaf done in just a few minutes there with that sewing method. So I think this is definitely going faster. Look how pretty it is on the back too, even. I like that. Oh, Kimberly, absolutely not. It is not too late to order the bunny pattern. So we'll be working on that next week, but we're still shipping. And there's also a PDF version as well, so you'd get that right away. However, I do suggest getting the printed version because it does come with the fold-out sheet, so you don't have to like print this yourself or anything, and you don't have to like splice pieces together or anything. So I do suggest the paper pattern, and that's for this guy. So we will be stitching this feller up next week. Just for like we have an extra kind of week, and it's our finish it week, and thought that'd be just like a fun, quick project for the week, and then we still have half of another week of March yet, so some time to play around. All right, I'm going to stick to this sewing method for a little tonight. Let's see. You know what? I think I'm going to get this leaf. I was going to start here and just continue going like clockwise, but I think I'm going to come back down and get this one down here. No real good reason, I suppose. Oh yeah, it'd be much easier with that paper, that folded out paper thing. It's fine to print it out at home, and like the PDF is fine. Like it should be easy enough to assemble. But with that sort of thing, I do love having it, having the large printout. So that'll just make things a tish easier. All right, so I'm not really going right to left. I'm going bottom to top, and let's see if that's comfortable at all. Not really. I like the right to left. We're actually going to cover like the same amount of area that we did with the parsley in like half the amount of time, really, because we're just doing these big leaves cover a lot of ground, I suppose. I'm doing some pretty big stitches too. Alright. And it's kind of a big, I want to get back down to down to over here, and that's kind of a big jump from where I am, so I'm going to just kind of weave into the backs of this stitch a little bit so I don't have a big toe catcher on the back. There we go. That's pretty much hidden. And now we'll go around in a circle here. I'm trying to think, should I go this way or this way? And I'm going to go clockwise, I guess. Around this little sage. So my thread's getting awfully twisted, and I suspect it's because I'm doing the sewing method and there's a lot of friction going in and out of the fabric all at once. I don't know. It feels like it's getting awfully twisted. So I could let it just dangle and untwist itself. We'll do that in a little bit if I need to. Oh, Mary Ellen. Oh, I'm so happy about she says, I'm learning a lot on starting and stopping, keeping the back neat looking. Yep, not a necessity. I know a lot of people are worried about the back, and but I do. The reason I do like a clean back, it's not so much that it's just like, look how clean and pretty it is. I just feel like a lot of times what makes it not a clean back is having a lot of knots, and I just hate when I'm stitching, and I've been stitching for a long time, and then I flip it around in the back, and I see that like 80 stitches ago, I like looped the thread on accident around one of those knots, and I wasted like 4 inches of thread. So that's annoying to me. So that happens all the time when I use knots on the back, at least for me. And it also just gets really thick if you're jumping back and forth a lot. And I think having my hand back here, kind of feeling the needle come through to the back and feeling the thread go between my fingers, so like I'm always kind of touching my stitch, that helps, just helps me be aware of if it feels like I'm getting a knot or something like that. So all those little things help keep a clean back. And again, for me, it's mostly the idea of a no knot back, because I just don't like when things get caught. And I actually think the weaving is a little bit more secure than the knot. All right, we're going to make it to the end of this one too. I think I'll have enough to actually get a few more stitches in. Such a pretty blue. All right, our studio sale is still going on as well, and I think all of our smaller cones of floss are gone, I think at this point, but we do have a few medium and large size flosses of a bunch of colors still. But man, I'm really happy that you guys are liking that. The first batch is going out today, and the second batch will go out tomorrow, and that sale will go through the weekend. So there's still some fun things for sure. Linda, I did not use the thread conditioner. I could have. I just thought, let's just get going on it. But maybe this next piece of thread I could use the thread conditioner. All right, so I'm going to finish this stitch and start this next spot all in one, like all in the same move. There we go. I'm going to see how far this thread lasts me. I think we can get around the bottom of this guy. doing some stabbing just so I can be precise. And now I don't think we'll get that far up here, but we'll see. I'm trying to map out my next move, and I'm kind of getting myself caught a little bit here. Because I'm going to end up like somewhere in the middle here, and then somehow I'm going to have to finish that loop later. Alright, this is my last stitch, I think. We're going to come up and go to the back, and I'll weave that in. It's coming together, though. We're going pretty quickly here. I think we can get one more piece going tonight yet. I'm trying to find that piece that I cut earlier. It's got to be attached to me somewhere, but I was up and walking around, so maybe I carried it to another room. That could very likely be as well. Okay, 1. 2. 3. I'm so happy that the stream decided to work ultimately. It was on the red scary bar and not the green nice bar. And then it finally started working, so I would have missed all of you guys tonight. Okay. Ready to go. Actually, let's try the thread conditioner this time, because why not? It smells good. Oh, Mary Ellen says, I'm making myself laugh because I keep talking to you while you're working. Funny. I've done that too. Oh God, I think I've mentioned this before, but I was watching like a sewing machine how-to, like some guy fixing a sewing machine, you know, I'm sure for something that was going wrong with one of my sewing machines. And he kept lifting his, so he kept going like this. He kept like lifting his hand slightly off screen, and I kept like ducking my head to try and see underneath him, because he was like, you know, up here like doing the thread, and I kept moving my head to see up there, but I'm like, I can't do that. That was a self-eye roll moment. All right, where should we kind of go next? I could finish this area. Or I could start here. Mapping it out, don't know what to do. I could go here. So many routes, I just don't know. I think I'm going to just not decide, and I'm going to go on this side. We'll keep switching it up. This is not normal for me to jump around like this, but it's kind of fun. Okay, 1. We'll see if the thread conditioner helps. All right. What side did I come up on? This side. Okay. Right here. And again, I'm going right to left. If you're left-handed, it's probably more natural going left to right, which is totally fine. I think that's something that we said we were going to try and do once. Do try and do the left-hand embroidery. If anyone needed help with that, I'm not quite sure I could do that, but I think it'd be worth a try. I think I'd end up with a cramped hand. Actually, I think I'm remembering that we did try that once, and my left hand did just fine. It was my right hand having to hold the hoop. It just couldn't find a relaxing way to hold the hoop. Whereas my left hand was just like, yeah, let's just keep stitching. Ooh, smells yummy. This is like a way smaller stitch than it needed to be up here. I am very much liking the sewing method tonight, though. We're getting a ton done. So I'll probably go tonight until I finish this piece of floss. And then tomorrow we will move on to the rosemary. So we're just kind of doing a different herb. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. We're going to do a different herb each evening. And then the last evening we'll try and finish up the bits that we didn't get done yet. Like the parsley, and we won't get the sage done either. But I did get the sage done a lot more than I was expecting, especially for our kind of shortened broadcast tonight. So I think, I don't know. I'm trying to decide where to go next. Because I could attempt to go around here now quickly. And then I'd end up, well, I could try and go around here and then try and pick up the rest of these stitches. Maybe that's weird. Yeah, but maybe I'll still do that. I'll go around here. And then I could always jump down to get, yeah, I don't know. I've gotten myself into a maze here. That's what I've done. I'm just trying to think of like the shortest route with the least amount of jumping. I was thinking I could come down here and go back up like a little V to get those two centers, but then I'm still got a little weird path with the rest of it. So what should I do? I could jump up here and then come back around and do this. Is that totally weird? I might try and do that. And then we'll still do that V at the end. Okay, I don't know. This is crazy. Maybe, but it's a path. It's one route. Probably dumb. Yeah, I'm going to come back and get the rest of that other sage leaf. That's behind this one. I think I'll do that right now. Actually, let's do another stitch on this one. There, now I'll come over here. So I'm thinking I'll have enough for a few more stitches after I meet up with this piece, but I don't quite know where I'd go next, and I won't have that much thread left, so I think I might just end this thread after these next few stitches, and then we'll start a fresh one when we work on it again, and we'll get this V and then the rest of this loop, or some version of that. Okay, so last stitch. Yep, exactly, Mary Ellen. There are no embroidery police. So I can take whatever path I want, I suppose. Still gonna get the job done. Okay. Yeah, I didn't have hardly any left, so this is a good move. Alrighty, so even though I came on super late tonight, we almost got all of our sage done. And this is gonna look, it's really light now, but it's gonna look really pretty once we get the dark rosemary in, and the rest of this parsley, it'll kind of pop a little bit off of those colors. So tomorrow, you know, instead of finishing this up, we're gonna start on the rosemary, and this is just a bunch of detached chain stitches, or single chain stitches, or like lazy daisy stitches. The way I usually like doing these is sometimes I like stitching and like doing the back stitch, and then when I get to a single crochet, I like doing that and then stitching a little bit more, and as I go doing the back stitch. But I think this time I'll do all the lazy daisies first, so we'll just crawl up this whole piece, and then I'll come back down with my back stitches, and then we'll have to do this piece again here too. I think that's going to be my mapped out strategy for tomorrow. All right, so thank you guys again for bearing with me tonight. I do appreciate that a ton. Here is our progress from today. It's going to be pretty. I'm excited to keep going on this. I'm especially excited for the time. I think that's going to be my favorite part about this piece. All those little itty-bitty lazy daisy stitches for the time. Awesome, you guys. So thank you again. I'm hoping technology will be on our side tomorrow. That is the plan, of course. And then next week we'll be stitching up our little bunny stuffed animal. And it'll just take like 2 fat quarters, or like a fat quarter and a fat eighth, really. So just 2 fabrics, and you can actually mix and match. You could use all scraps if you wanted to do that, and I've done that before, and it ends up being really sweet. So that'd be another route to go as well. It shows you in the instructions how to lay it out on a fat quarter, so you know that you're gonna cut it just right. So we'll go over that too when we do that next week. So thank you guys again, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great evening. Good night.